I'd like to welcome everyone to this webinar by Elevate Training and Development, and we're going to go over the last year, well the first year of social workers becoming eligible for CPD information and gathering on the HCPC website and registration. And we just wanted to make sure that people who were on our training fully understood what it means to be a registered social worker now, since we have gone over to the HCPC. So we're just going to go through some slides, and then we're going to go to our website and show some of the information which might be helpful to you as registered social workers. So, as was billed really clearly by the HCPC in the run-up to taking over from the General Social Care Council, there was going to be a new future for social work, and we currently now are in the first year of that future. So, Future of Social Work CPD training is with us right here, right now. And as we've been saying, a bit like a broken record through some of our training events, that this new approach to CPD was the real clear change from the General Social Care Council to the Health and Care Professionals Council's requirements for CPD. And that this new approach for CPD is continuing professional development, which is essential to ensure that social workers remain up to date with professional developments and can adjust their practice in line with new evidence. And that there be a recognition that learning can and does take place in a range of different ways and circumstances. It's not always associated with a course, and the development needs to be met through a range of different activities. And I know for lots of social workers who have been using our site and our learning portal, they've been saying, you know, what's this training about? How can I go on it? Where can I get my training needs met? They've been saying that to their recruitment consultants, and just really want to clarify with everyone that this new approach to CPD is about a range of ways of learning, and that the training that we provide on our portal at Elevate Training and Development through www.socialworkprocesses.co.uk is an accessible, achievable, convenient way of learning and developing learning actions for social workers. So with the HCPC, they have tried to amalgamate some of the key findings and outcomes of the Social Work Reform Board, and that includes this mystical thing called the Professional Capabilities Framework. And we can see it here. A lot of people are still unfamiliar with this, and I'm not going to go through it all now, but one of the things that I'd like to make sure that people have is just ongoing reminders that you should be completing your reflective learning by using the Professional Capability Framework for social workers. And you know, when you go into any supervision, when you even go into an interview situation, you should be able to now, 1 year on, be able to say where you are on the Professional Capability Framework for social workers. And we constantly put this image up for people and remind people to go to the College of Social Work to look at the domains. And just running through the domains round here, you're supposed to be working towards one of these capabilities and towards one of these levels, either as a newly qualified social worker, a social worker who's come out of training and is more experienced, an experienced social worker, an advanced social work practitioner, and a principal social worker. So the new approach to continuing professional development said that social workers will be supported by employers and expected to take professional responsibility for developing their skills to a high professional level through undertaking learning and development activities over and above the core standards required for re-registration with the HCPC. And that's what the College of Social Work has said. They are responsible for the professional capabilities framework for social workers. And social workers, you'll be going into interviewing situations soon where people are going to be asking you, what work have you done around your professional capability framework and how are you going to evidence it for your new employment? So this new approach to continuing professional development means that the principle makes explicit the need for social workers to take responsibility for identifying and meeting their individual professional needs. Learning activities will arise from everyday work as well as any other requirements imposed by external circumstances or organisational needs. Professional social workers are expected to be proactive in identifying needs and ways of meeting them. The onus now is on individual social workers to identify their needs and make sure that they do learning activities and to reflect on that and then to make sure that their needs are met. And this is all from the backdrop of the Social Work Reform Board and the College of Social Work and the standards that are set there, which you can read from their websites. What we now know is that no training is the right training, and CPD should be based on the needs of the social worker to develop the professional self using a range of training which supports self-learning and development, with the social worker evidencing through their portfolio how they use this learning for the benefit of service users. The introduction of the portfolio has come with the HCPC. It wasn't there standard with the General Social Care Council. Newly qualified social workers did need to do a portfolio, but now this portfolio is for all locum social workers, all independent social workers at every level. And a range of learning and development means action learning sets, access to research, professional supervision, critical incident analysis and critical reflection. The HCPC has said that you can do this in lots of different ways: in-house training, external training, distance learning courses, academically accredited modules and courses, masterclasses and master level CPD courses. And as we can see that even without the onus from the Reform Board for employers to support this development, recruiters still need to ensure that their locum social workers are fit for purpose and support them to register a portfolio in line with these changes and helping them to track their CPD. Our training is very much helping you as a locum social worker to track your training. We're offering training which is accessible to all social workers. So previously only some social workers who are locums would take up training. Now recruitment companies are actually a standard ensuring that social workers can get the CPD needs met, and the workers who are signed up with our training, they do get that, and that their recruitment companies have made a commitment to ensure that you get this ongoing training. And the challenge for recruiters has always been, how do they evidence locum social workers re-registration, how to assess their learning needs, and how do they offer CPD so that they can stay employable. And that's what your recruiters are trying to do, offer that to you. One of the things that has changed is that the focus is not now on hours, but the regulator, the HCPC, expects a range of planned learning activities throughout the 2-year period with reflection on the impact of practice of this learning. We're at the first year, so re-registration will take place in November 2014. Registration started November 2012. So all the locums who are currently registered with us on our training portal at www.socialworkprocesses.co.uk should be completing their year's learning log and should have been doing some of the training that fits in with their requirements. Because each time it comes to an end, each time the registration period of 2 years comes to an end, you will need to summarise your CPD and its impact on service users, and a random 2.5% of social workers, including locum social workers, will be chosen to evidence that this is happening. So it's important that all social workers keep their learning logs. If you go to the HCPC website, you will see very clearly outlined the information that they give, but also if you remember when you registered with the HCPC, they sent you this really vital information that I'd suggest people go back and reread. What they asked you to do when you signed up with them is to make sure that you maintained a continuous and up-to-date and accurate record of your CPD activities, that you demonstrate that your CPD activities are a mixture of learning activities relevant to current or future practice, that you sought to ensure that your CPD was contributed to the quality of your practice and service delivery, and that you seek to ensure that your CPD benefits your service users, and upon request present a written profile which must be your own work and supported by evidence explaining how you met the standards of the CPD. They say that whenever a professional renews its registration, they will randomly check 2.5% of the profession. So, as we know, there are the standards. And as part of the standards of continuing re-registration at the end, you will have to do, if you are chosen, a profile which has 4 components. You have to list your CPD activities for the last 2 years, create a summary of recent work for the last 2 years using 500 words, and write a statement of how the standards have been met of 1,500 words maximum, and also providing supporting evidence. So as you know, on our website we offer you the chance to undertake as much learning activity as possible. Even what we're doing right now, this webinar, is teaching you and teaching others how to best use the information on here, which you can then incorporate as a learning activity by saying that you, for example, took part in this webinar and you reflected on the standards. For example, if I went back to these standards here, and you possibly incorporated it into your work with a social worker, or talked and discussed it with your manager, or thought about the service that you're currently in terms of how you have or promote CPD within your service area, and then state how you made it, how it made a difference to the lives of service users. So in a nutshell, the first year has embedded what we know to be the information that's required for re-registration. We've started on our learning portal to offer you a wealth of information about professional self-development. You can, if you choose, complete your reflective log templates and your learning lead and your training needs analysis with us. And you can also, if you're a newly qualified social worker, complete your assessed and supported year in employment with us at Elevate Training and Development. And all of this you can do through our learning portals at socialworkprocesses.co.uk. So I'm just going to run through for people just what we've got on the website here. And as most people know who are members, you just need to put in here in your URL www.socialworkprocesses.co.uk, and The website, the training portal is very, very easy to use. It's not complicated at all. If you look on this right hand side, this is the main information, and up here, that's not to do with you. This is for people who want to experience what training we have. So they put their email in here and their recruitment company, and they download 8 hours of free CPD training. That's for people who are not members. Members can't access the information on here. There's some free things that they can read and they can watch, but the majority of the membership site is for the members who have been joined up by their recruitment companies. So just going down this right hand side, if you click on any of these links, you will get information that's helpful to you and your learning. Mainly people come under here, resources, and they can click on some of these links and they can get information about training and learning activities that they can undertake, but you can only access those if you log in. So I'm just going to log in and show you how to do that. You log in here underneath the book where it says you are not currently logged in, and you log in here. And if you forget your password, all you need to do, you see here it says welcome Grado. I've logged in here and I'm a level gold, and it'll give me information about my membership details and I can log out. If you had lost your password and you couldn't get in, there was a link that said lost password. You just put in your email address and click that. I'm just going to take you through the site. So stick to the right hand side and just play about with the buttons over here, with the links over here. Under news, and I'll just click on archives because this is the archives of the news. Every month we have information that is pertinent to social work. So for October we have the articles that we've been writing, information that we've been giving to social workers about social workers. All this information, even if as a social worker all you did was come here and read this information and reflected on it, went back and talked to your manager about it, to people in your team, wrote a report on it or incorporated it into your core assessment or your assessment of a vulnerable person, then what you would do is you would come back over here each time you do a learning activity, you complete the online reflective log form. And when you complete that form, you will enter your details in here. We give you lots of information as guidance as how to complete this. You enter your information here. You make reference to the PCFs, the Professional Capability Framework, and you say how you have reflected on it, and then you submit the reflective log to us at Elevate Training Development. We take a look at what you've done, we take a look at your learning activity, and for the majority of you who have reflected on the information and the learning, we send you a certificate. If we feel that you've maybe not put enough information in there, we might say to you, you might want to think about doing this, you might want to think about reflecting on this, but overall it's not a big deal for you to do in terms of what's been asked of you. You're doing it from your perspective as to what you have experienced and what you have therefore done in your role as a social worker. I'll just click through a few more under here. So I entered the news under archives. You can go back to when we started first putting information on here, or you could just see the last few things that we've added here. For example, we wrote about the forced marriage campaign that was being undertaken. This is timely news. And also we try and write our articles so that they are researched and that they come from a perspective, a social work perspective. We're not writing sensational information. We're trying to write things that's helpful for you as social workers to understand the issue. And we try to give you references so that you can go and gather more information, or you can go and look at the websites and the details, or download research that might be relevant to that topic. And as you can see, under recent comments, people will read the articles and they will respond to them, and they're putting down comments about what they've read. For this worker, when she's written what she's written here, she could actually use that as a learning activity, and she can say, I read this article as part of my professional self-development, my professionalism, or what I added to the profession. I gave my perspective as to what I felt about that, and I wrote it here, and all of that is evidencing that you're reflecting on the information that you're seeing. In terms of the other things that are on here, this section here is about information that you can click on. We have one, how to use the site. We give full information here about how to use the site. You can download information, you can join the forum, you can get your needs analysis here and download that. It's basically the manual that we send you, instructions on how to use GoToWebinar, how to come to the webinars, how to complete your reflective log. That all the information is on there. How we do certificates, and the confidentiality information, and also information about how to use the site is here in a recording. And then professional self e-course. We've got the professional self e-courses. These are really popular. People do like these. We have included the course outlines for most of the courses, and it describes fully what you will be getting when you complete the course, and it also helps you to understand how you need to reference it to the professional capabilities framework for social workers, so you can take a look at that to see which one of those you like. And then further down, and only you can see this, other people who are not signed in cannot see this, we say you click on the start the course, and this is where you sign up for the course. You put your name in here, your email in here, and then the course will come directly into your email box. You complete the course like you would any learning activity. You come back, you complete your reflective log by clicking on here. You submit it to us and you get your certificate. There's a range of training on here. It's updated all the time. Our newest one is communication skills. Under this, we have fostering solutions for those of you who are working with foster carers. We have the webinars, which are the monthly webinars, and we do have a webinar every single month, such as I'm having with you right now, and these webinars are recorded and added to the website, and we do them in formats. We do them in formats that is accessible for most people. We have information for newly qualified social workers. We have specialist webinars that take place as well, and you can just go under the resource button here, link here, resources link here, click on any of those, including the calendar, and the calendar we tend to put information in here for dates of the webinars or any special events that are taking place. Okay. Just continuing under resources, just to finish. We have a whole page on court skills, which we're currently updating with the new information about the PLO. We already have some information which is handy. As most people know, you can watch our webinars. They're recorded and put up here, but you can also download the research and the handouts that we give with every single training that we do. They're all on here for you to download. And also we've got some audios, some transcripts and other very important learning activities, trying to make sure that we do it in as many ways as possible for people. We have added a specific training on the Mental Capacity Act and DOLS. This is only for a certain level of worker, and it's not accessible in the gold package. It's about it's a 6-month training for adult social workers or social workers involved with working with people around the Mental Capacity Act and deprivation of liberty standards, and they can access it here. So as always, we are here to talk with you about any problems that you have, preferably by email, and I'll get back to you personally. Gradle or Eman, our support officer, will get back to you with any problems that you have. Your consultants are all kept up to speed in how the training is going on, and they are interested to know that people are accessing it. Every time that we get information that is relevant, we will add it to the website as much as we can do, either if it's research information, if we have a special webinar with experts on there, we will continue to add that to the webinar. And if you know people who would like to access the training, please contact us and let us know, and we will talk with them about how they can do that. So this is the first year of our registration as social workers with the HCPC. We are now entering into the second year after November, and the countdown really is on to try and get all of your information ready in one place, but also to ensure that you get really good standard of continuing professional development which meets your needs as a social worker, so you can continue to be vibrant and professional and get lots of job satisfaction where you can from what you're doing, and also to make a difference to the lives of the service users that you chose to work with and for the profession that you chose to come into. Any questions, contact us at info@socialworkprocesses.co.uk.